Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the City of Charlestown Sanitary Sewer Board meeting, March 16th, 2023, 10 a.m. We'll begin as customary. If everyone will please rise, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have our roll call. Brian Hoskins.
Present.
Nathan Grimes.
I'm present today.
Mayor Hodges is present, as well as Deputy Clerk Treasurer Heather Kemp, and we have our legal counsel with us, Liz Zeller. Been provided a copy of the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Ryan Hoskins. We have a second.
A second that.
Seconded by Nathan Grimes. Any edits? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. We have our standing business, which includes our approval or correction of our prior meeting minutes from March 2nd, our current claims, and our payroll allowance docket from February 26th to March 11th. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Ryan Hoskins,
A second.
seconded by Nathan Grimes. Any questions or edits?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. I don't believe we have any public comment. No old business. Moving on to just our new business, which includes our monthly, or I guess our bi-monthly reports. Call for Tim to give us our operator report first.
Morning.
Good morning.
Can we just go ahead and put on public record that Tim is no longer allowed to ask for rainfall?
Oh, right.
Ever again.
I never,
Right?
I never,
Yes.
I never will.
What in the
I
world?
second that motion.
That was,
That was crazy.
yes.
But,
You got what you asked for. Although if you would like to ask for, I don't know, like just a gift of a couple $1 million, like for the sewer plant. I mean, if you're that lucky on requesting rainfall, you could request these other things and turn that power to your use.
Right.
All right.
Well, I have a few things for the board to, that I want to bring them up to speed today on. First and foremost, the monthly report of operations for the utility as a whole. Even with the large rain event, which we did have a few of the SSOs, kind of understandable. Not something we want, but it's something that happens. But other than that, the facility continues to run beautifully. We did hire the new person, as I updated the board list last time, and with that being said, I would draw your attention to the section on the second page for collection system activities. And bringing this individual in for the last 2 months of this particular month, you'll see that we were able to clean over 1,500 linear feet of pipe. And that is one of the things that we wanted to achieve with this person. So going forward, I think this will be a norm in number, if not higher. So, again, the facility and the staff continue to perform extraordinary. So, the second thing, is there any questions on the facility before I just breeze through this stuff? I want to give everybody ample opportunity if they have any questions. If not, but I did take the liberty prior to the meeting starting of passing out some graphs. These graphs are associated with the flow reading program that is going on. It actually concludes today. We've had 2 very good rainfall events that has allowed us to collect some very good data. I will apologize. The manhole numbers, I will get information to each of you of exactly their location, but the location, there's a manhole, or there's a meter by the H&R block over by Greenway Park. There's one in the small dog park, which is the main one, and then 2 up by the lift station itself. We have scheduled a meeting for this coming Wednesday, next Wednesday, up in the City Hall conference room. I've asked both engineering firms to meet with me that particular day for us to do a little workshop and brainstorm about what the recommendations going forward will be with this, and and actually the comparison of the old study compared to this one. I will tell you that I was somewhat surprised not good nor bad, that they do coincide pretty closely. For example, I will give you, and I don't want to get into too many logistics until I have the meeting with the engineers. The peak flow realized in this last rainfall event, which was totally my fault, was like 7 MGD in the 36-inch line. And one thing that I have learned, and I appreciate Lori, I know Zach's not here, Zach Klein with HWC, have helped me understand better that 7 MGD peak is just that, it's a peak in time. The actual flow through that line during that same period was approximately 1.45 million gallons. Makes a lot of sense, because I never did see, we have not seen 6-7 million gallons per day coming into the facility. So it's dissipating, a lot of it's going into the retention basin, and that's one thing that we're gonna be talking about next week is where's it going?
Was there an overflow of that retention basin?
No, ma'am. It got right to the brink. I'd say that's a 1.8 million gallon basin, and I'd say we put every bit of 1.7 million gallons in it. So, but it did not overflow. We had our typicals at Basham and Bohart.
Okay, yep.
Okay? So, I wanted to give the board something tangible to see that the work that you approved has been done. There will be some more work and information coming from that. Be glad to answer any questions you might have on that.
Remind me, we authorized this for 30 days
Yes.
pending a renewal. When is the 30 days up?
Today.
It's up today.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
this
So
something that you want to continue on a day-by-day
it
basis?
is a day-to-day basis now. Next Wednesday, part of that meeting will be GRIP Incorporated, which is the supplying meter company, along with JTL and HWC, and we'll make the decision at that point whether we need to leave them in, which I don't think we need to leave them in the place.
Well, so will we leave them in the same location since we
Not
already have
necessarily.
them?
That's one of the topics that I'd
Kind of
like to
confirms our
discuss.
previous reads. Okay.
Right. So I think we've got ample data from a personal standpoint. I don't want to speak for Lori and her team, nor or Zach and his team.
Does this help narrow down where there might be significant I&I a little bit better than the previous study that had more monitors?
I think
Better
so.
area to focus on now to look for these things?
Yes, I believe so. There was actually 2 additional meters coming from what I referred to as mini basin 7, mini basin 8, which is up in Pleasant Ridge.
Right.
And it's, yes, to answer your question, yes, it will help us locate the concentrator flow coming in. And that in turn may dictate moving it throughout the rest of the city. Again, that's what one of the things I want to meet with them on.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay, lastly, I'm taking up a lot of your time this morning, I apologize. I took the liberty to pass out a diagram that Mark Lacey, which is here with me in the audience today. This particular layout is associated with the relocation of the Highway 62 lift station. Mark and I and Lori met last week. This project can be looked at in a couple different options. One, just doing it all at once. 2, 3 phases, which I think is probably the more prudent thing to do. And when you're looking at this particular layout, the blue is the gravity line. It's an 18-inch gravity line running from the existing station over to where the new station would be installed. That would be phase 1. Phase 2 would be the lift station construction itself. And please mark that if you hear anything that I misspeak, jump right in. And then phase 3 would be the force main to the new location of the new wastewater treatment plant. We're not ready to submit for permits just yet. Phase 1 would not need a permit from IDM. Mark and I spoke about that. The thing that I would stress to the board is phase 1, while the forced edge project is getting ready to kick off, might be very nice to try to coordinate that project with the forced edge project, because it is going to impede Highway 62 just a little bit. So that's something to consider. Like I said, this is a very brief, high-level overview of this. We'll be coming back to the board very quickly with some more detailed information. would like to entertain any questions you have. Mark, do you have anything that you would like to add that I possibly haven't covered? Lori?
Just want to make it, the phase one would not be impacting the existing pump station at this time. That would still maintain operation until the Forest Edge development got to a point that it required the elimination of that station.
Other questions from the board?
What about timeline here? It looks like you gotta go into the new wastewater plant.
Yes.
Thinking it's going to be and coincide with the time the new plant opens, or is it gonna go to the existing for the time being?
We've talked briefly about that, but I would ask for you to kind of lay out the timeline for them if you would, Mark. please.
Sure, that new force main is scheduled to go to the new treatment plant, so it would be required that the new plant be in operation before that force main is installed. Yet, part of phase two and the installation of the pump station itself would include a temporary line to connect to the existing station. So the majority of the force main during phase two would be reusing the existing force main that goes to the existing treatment plant. And that new force main would not be necessary until the new plant was in operation.
So timeline-wise, you're looking at potentially doing phase one in conjunction with work already happening, so that tentatively could happen this year, later this year. Phase two might happen next year, and then you're not looking at that final phase three until, I mean, construction on the plant's not gonna be done, anticipated till August of 2025, so after that point, is that kind of a reasonable assumption?
I think how you laid that out is pretty reasonable.
When it comes time to bid this, is this something you would bid in stages?
Based on those construction timelines, yes.
Okay.
Do we have easements?
That would be part of the process that we did, and Mark and Lori and I did talk about that last week. Mark is going to be putting some information together. Lori introduced me to their department last week while I was at a meeting to turn over to them to investigate that. To answer your question, no, we do not have easements as of today.
Just to piggyback on that, Tim, if you don't mind, the only phase of the project that would require easements would be the final phase three and the
Right.
force main alignment.
What-
That's what
Yep.
it feels like.
Yeah, what about the access there under 62, is that gonna, how complicated is that gonna be to get NDOT on board? Are they gonna require approval for us to do that?
Part of the reason why it'd be good to go in conjunction with the Forest Edge development is because they are going to be widening 62 and
Okay.
adding that commercial entrance to the property across the street.
Right,
So the thought is to do that work
okay,
to avoid disturbing a new entrance and new paved road shortly after installation.
okay, great, thank you.
I presented a lot to you. Unless you have any more questions, that's all I have.
Thanks, Sue.
Thanks, Tim.
You're very welcome.
Ray Wyatt is here to present for our engineering report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A couple updates for you guys. We have updated the compliance plan. I know we talked about that, to add on the timeline where we needed to push back a little bit due to adding in the value engineering. We submitted that and it was approved by IDEM. So that's been taken care of. We are submitting your first quarterly report per the agreed order today. Those are due, again, 15 days prior to the end of the quarter. So that's today, so your first one will go out. We got that all set up where it will be a fairly easy template for Tim to be able to use going forward. We did the first one, ran it by him, and so then we will be able to help him as that goes on, but he should be able to, as we're moving forward, pretty much be able to start taking that over along the way. We plan we are ready to submit the treatment plant construction permit application, and so that is to go in tomorrow.
And I think Bo wanted an opportunity to look over that document as well. And then the board would just need to authorize, we just need a vote to authorize me to pending his final legal review to execute. So I'll just need a motion and a vote to authorize me to execute that.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion from Ryan. Do you have a second?
Second.
Yeah, second from Nathan, authorizing me to execute the permit after Bo has had a chance to review it. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So give him time to look over it and I'll get that done for you.
Perfect.
It's unanimous.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, so that will go in to item, hopefully Bo's gonna look that over pretty quickly. It's just the application for the construction. And then we'll be able to get that submitted tomorrow. And then other than that, we submitted all of our responses back to HWC from their value engineering comments. So, I think that's about it.
And we're anticipating 100% design on the 62 pump station at next meeting or the one after?
No,
but
that's pretty much what you all got.
Oh.
Like, that was the summary that you all got today.
Okay,
It has hit the, 100% design, and then it's just a matter of how and when it's chosen to proceed. We have coordinated with Heritage,
okay,
as far as, talking about that phase one, going with the forest edge. I think the part of the conversation that needs to be discussed would be, does that need to be incorporated with redevelopment as
Right.
part of that, utility relocation that we talked about before? Or is this going to be, how are we gonna make that work?
yeah. Let me talk to
Yeah.
redevelopment and see.
That needs to be part of that
Coordinate with
conversation.
their timeline and I'll report
Mhm.
back to the board at the next meeting with whatever information I have.
And so I think that's where that phase one kind of
Okay,
hinges.
yeah.
And then phase two really does become a matter of, one, when you all choose to do it, or two, when Forest Edge deems it needs to be done.
Right.
So whichever of those comes first. And then again, the phase three being the final future force main that does go to the new treatment plant. So that is done and ready, and we've reviewed it with Tim. So we can go over more detail on that if you all need to or want to. But I think that finding out the plan and how that is going to kind of work with or not.
I think
with
the next-
redevelopment idea.
I think the next step would be for maybe me, you, and Tim to sit down and discuss what we anticipate cost-wise
Sure.
might be on this, to
Mhm.
see how we might split that up, see if redevelopment can absorb a portion of this, since it is part of their, could potentially be a part of their utility relocation, and how we might fund that, because that, we want to make sure that we're going to have the funds before we bid this out.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a conversation that we're going to need to have, and then give us more time to update the board at the next meeting.
Sure.
There'll be a redevelopment meeting that happens before we meet again too, so that should give you plenty of time to check that out.
Sounds good. And other than that, I think Tim gave you the update on where we're going with the fall monitoring. I think that's all. Any questions for me right now?
Thank you.
Updating the board, just a quick update from me on funding for the wastewater treatment plant. Previously, I had mentioned that I was talking to River Hills about submitting for an EDA grant. Unfortunately, we had some talks with the folks out of the Chicago office with EDA, and the timeline is not going to work for our plant. They are looking at not accepting applications until sometime next year, and then they have an 18-month period of anticipation before the award would be received. And since we need to move more quickly than that, that's not gonna be a realistic option for us to, and they were only looking at, and it sounds crazy to say this, they're only looking at between 1 and 2 million, which in the scale of our plant, you know, trying to build a package of funding, I feel like we're sending a kid to college, trying to get scholarships to, you know, build a package, but in the grand scheme of things for our project isn't very much. But not ruling it out for potential other projects down the road, but for the wastewater plant build, it doesn't look like EDA is going to be an option. I did have a very good phone conversation, Teams meeting with representatives from the IEDC, however, to stress the uptick in interest that I've experienced with River Ridge developing on our end. Tim's nodding his head. We've had, we're up to 8 or 9 last count. There were 2 more that came in.
Well, actually,
So, I mean, since February 10th, we've had about 8
right,
RFIs.
the 2 were posed new questions, new details
Right.
associated with ones that already been responded to. That is a great
Yes.
indicator, in my opinion,
Yes.
that they're very interested in locating in our.
And one of those RFIs was a significant user.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking 3 MGD,
Right.
significant user. So I'm continuing to have regular updates with River Hills, with the IEDC about the growing interest on our end. So the mega site in Jeffersonville on that side has been, there's a purchase sale agreement that's been publicly executed. And I think that's driving a lot of the interest our way because the land is, our land is becoming a much greater commodity at this point. So all that said, the IEDC understands where we are. I don't have numbers that wouldn't go that far. However, I did get some reassurance that they understand the significance of what we're building, why we need it, and that they would continue to look for opportunities to help us. So as things become more definite, I will keep you informed. There is an RDA meeting this Friday, tomorrow at 10. I know we had all put in our applications for any residual funding. Last time I talked to River Hills, there wasn't much residual funding expected to happen, so I don't know what they'll be passing or considering at that meeting, but I will attend that meeting and hopefully have another update for you at our upcoming sewer board in April 6th, I think is our next meeting. So that's kind of what I know right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bo, do you have anything for us?
Nothing at this time?
Anything for us except signatures? All right, if there's nothing from the board members, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ryan Hoskins, second by Nathan Brown. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Next one.